In the vastness of the universe, where stars burned like tiny candles and planets spun silently in their orbits, Earth stood out as a peculiar little world. It wasn't just its blue-green surface or swirling white clouds that caught the attention of those who watched from afar. It was the creatures living on it. Humans. They were strange, unpredictable beings, capable of both breathtaking beauty and devastating destruction. For centuries, alien species across the galaxy had observed them with fascination, curiosity, and sometimes fear, but none of them could have imagined what would happen on the day humanity snapped, an event so shocking that it would forever be etched into the memories of every intelligent being in the cosmos. On this particular morning, Earth seemed perfectly ordinary. The sun rose over cities filled with towering buildings, streets bustling with cars, and sidewalks crowded with people rushing to work. Birds chirped in the parks, children laughed on playgrounds, and coffee shops buzzed with the hum of conversations. To anyone looking at it from space or even from the ground, it appeared to be just another day in the life of humanity. But deep beneath the surface, something was brewing, something no one saw coming. Humans weren't aware of it yet, but they were being studied intently by countless alien civilizations. These extraterrestrial observers used advanced technology to monitor Earth without interfering. Some of these aliens admired humanity's creativity, their ability to build skyscrapers, compose symphonies, and explore outer space. Others were wary of their darker tendencies: wars, greed, and environmental destruction. Despite their differences, all agreed on one thing: humans were unpredictable, and unpredictability made them dangerous. That unpredictability began manifesting itself in small ways early that day. In New York City, a man sitting in traffic slammed his fist against his steering wheel after another driver cut him off. Normally, he might have shrugged it off, but today, something inside him snapped. He got out of his car yelling at the top of his lungs. Passers-by stared in shock as the argument escalated into a physical fight right there on the highway. Traffic came to a standstill. Horns blared and tempers flared. What started as a minor inconvenience quickly spiraled into chaos. Across the Atlantic Ocean, in London, a similar scene unfolded. A woman working in an office snapped at her coworker during a routine meeting. Her voice grew louder and angrier with each passing second until she threw her laptop across the room. Everyone froze, unsure of how to react. Moments later, others joined in, venting frustrations they didn't even realize they'd been holding onto. By lunchtime, arguments had broken out in offices, schools, and homes throughout the city. People stormed out of meetings, slammed doors, and shouted accusations at one another. In Tokyo, a young student sat quietly in class trying to focus on the lesson. But instead of concentrating, he felt an inexplicable surge of irritation building inside him. When the teacher scolded him for not paying attention, he snapped back rudely. His classmates gasped. This was completely out of character for him. Within minutes, the entire classroom erupted into chaos. Students argued. Desks were overturned and the teacher struggled to regain control. Similar incidents occurred in classrooms all over Japan, and soon the rest of the world. These events may have seemed isolated at first glance, but when viewed together, they formed a pattern. Something was affecting humanity en masse, pushing them toward anger, frustration, and despair. No one knew why, and no one understood how widespread it was becoming. Social media platforms lit up with posts about bizarre behavior. Videos of strangers fighting in grocery stores went viral. News outlets scrambled to cover the growing unrest, but even journalists found themselves snapping at colleagues or sources. The world felt like it was unraveling, piece by piece. Far away, on a distant planet orbiting a red dwarf star, a council of alien leaders gathered in a grand chamber. Holographic screens displayed live footage of Earth's escalating turmoil. The images shocked even the most seasoned observers. "This is unprecedented," said Zixar, a tall insect-like creature with shimmering wings. "We've never seen anything like this before." "They're losing control," added Luminera, a soft-spoken aquatic being whose bioluminescent skin pulsed with concern. "But why? Is it natural, or is someone or something causing this?" The council debated fiercely. Some believed it was a biological phenomenon, perhaps a virus spreading among humans. Others speculated it could be a side effect of Earth's changing climate or electromagnetic interference from solar flares. A few suggested it might be the result of alien experimentation gone wrong. Whatever the cause, the consequences were undeniable. Humanity was teetering on the brink of collapse. Back on Earth, scientists worked tirelessly to uncover answers. Laboratories buzzed with activity as researchers analyzed blood samples, brain scans, and atmospheric data. Dr. Maya Patel, a brilliant astrophysicist based in California, led one such team. She had always been fascinated by the possibility of extraterrestrial life, but now her focus shifted entirely to solving the mystery unfolding around her. As reports poured in from around the globe, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that something external was influencing human behavior. Late that afternoon, while poring over satellite data, Maya noticed something unusual. Energy spikes, tiny, fleeting bursts of radiation, were appearing in Earth's atmosphere. At first glance, they resembled solar activity, but upon closer inspection, Maya realized they weren't coming from the sun. They originated from deep space, converging directly toward Earth. Her heart raced as she cross-referenced the timing of the energy surges with the outbreaks of irrational behavior. There was a correlation. Someone, or something, was targeting humanity. Maya shared her findings with her colleagues, but skepticism met her claims. Aliens? Scoffed one of her peers. You think aliens are behind this? Despite the ridicule, Maya remained convinced. The evidence was too compelling to ignore. She decided to dig deeper, determined to prove her theory. But as night fell and the chaos on Earth intensified, communication networks began failing. Phones stopped working, internet connections dropped, and power grids faltered. Humanity was losing its ability to connect, not just with each other, but with the truth. For the billions of people caught in the grip of this mysterious phenomenon, the day felt endless. Every interaction carried the potential for conflict. Patience wore thin, compassion disappeared, and trust evaporated. Yet amidst the madness, some individuals clung to hope. A father calmed his crying child despite his own rising anxiety. Neighbor helped an elderly woman carry groceries home. Small acts of kindness, though rare, reminded everyone that humanity still had a chance to pull through. As darkness blanketed the planet, the situation worsened. Riots broke out in major cities, fires raged unchecked, and law enforcement struggled to maintain order. Governments issued emergency broadcasts urging citizens to stay calm, but their pleas fell on deaf ears. Fear gripped the hearts of millions, and despair threatened to consume them all. High above Earth, the Alien Council continued their vigil. Their expressions ranged from awe to horror as they witnessed the scale of humanity's breakdown. If we don't intervene, they'll destroy themselves, warned Zixar, and possibly endanger others in the process. But intervention carries risks, countered Luminara. We cannot predict how they will respond. The debate raged on, but one fact remained clear. Humanity's fate hung precariously in the balance. Whether they would rise from the ashes or succumb to their own flaws depended on choices yet to be made, choices that would ripple across galaxies and redefine the future of the universe. And so, as the clock ticked toward midnight, the stage was set for a turning point unlike any other. Humanity stood on the edge of annihilation, unaware that their salvation or doom might come from beyond the stars. As the first rays of dawn broke over a fractured Earth, the chaos that had begun the previous day showed no signs of slowing down. In fact, it was intensifying. The energy surges detected by Dr. Maya Patel continued to bombard the planet, their mysterious origins still unknown. Humanity, caught in the grip of an invisible force, spiraled further into madness. Cities burned, riots raged unchecked, and even the most peaceful individuals found themselves consumed by anger and despair. Yet amidst the destruction, small flickers of resistance emerged. moments of clarity and humanity that hinted at the possibility of redemption. By mid-morning, the world had descended into what could only be described as collective hysteria. In New York City, once a bustling hub of commerce and culture, streets were now battlegrounds. Cars lay abandoned or overturned, their windows shattered. Storefronts were looted, their contents strewn across sidewalks like debris after a storm. Police officers attempted to restore order, but were overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Protesters clashed violently with authorities, not over political ideologies this time, but simply because tension boiled over at the slightest provocation. A man, shouting about spilled coffee, escalated into a full-blown riot within minutes. No one seemed immune to the pervasive rage, not even children who screamed and fought in playgrounds where laughter should have echoed. In Tokyo, the situation mirrored the chaos unfolding elsewhere. Public transportation systems ground to a halt as fights erupted between passengers. Subway stations turned into war zones, with commuters exchanging blows over seating disputes or perceived slights. Schools closed prematurely as teachers struggled to contain students whose tempers flared uncontrollably. Parents arriving to pick up their kids often joined the fray, transforming schoolyards into scenes of mayhem. Even pets appeared agitated, barking incessantly or hiding under furniture as if sensing the turmoil around them. Meanwhile, social media platforms, once tools for connection, became breeding grounds for hostility. Posts mocking the escalating violence quickly devolved into toxic arguments. Memes ridiculing people's behavior fueled resentment rather than humor. Online forums overflowed with accusations, threats, and vitriol. Moderators worked tirelessly to delete harmful content, but they couldn't keep up. Algorithms designed to promote engagement instead amplified negativity, ensuring that users were bombarded with increasingly inflammatory material. For many glued to their screens, the digital realm became just as chaotic as the physical world. Amidst all this, scientists scrambled to find answers. Laboratories worldwide buzzed with activity as researchers analyzed samples, ran simulations, and debated theories. Some hypothesized that a new strain of virus was altering human brain chemistry, while others suggested electromagnetic interference from solar flares might be responsible. Still, others pointed fingers at artificial intelligence, gone rogue, or secret government experiments gone awry. Each theory was dissected, tested, and ultimately discarded when evidence failed to support it. Dr. Maya Patel remained steadfast in her belief that the phenomenon had extraterrestrial origins. She spent hours poring over satellite data, tracking the mysterious energy spikes converging toward Earth. Her colleagues dismissed her claims as far-fetched, but Maya refused to abandon her investigation. Late in the afternoon, she made a breakthrough. By isolating specific frequencies embedded within the energy bursts, she discovered faint patterns resembling code, a language unlike anything she'd ever seen. It wasn't random noise. It was deliberate communication. Excited yet cautious, Maya shared her findings with her team. "This isn't natural," she explained, pointing to the screen displaying the decoded fragments. "These signals are being sent intentionally. Someone, or something, is targeting us." Her words sparked skepticism and debate among her peers. "Even if you're right," said one researcher skeptically, "what can we do about it? We can't fight back against aliens with equations and telescopes." Maya knew he had a point. Without concrete proof or actionable solutions, her discovery risked being ignored. Determined to act, she decided to broadcast her findings globally. Using makeshift equipment cobbled together from spare parts, she hacked into emergency broadcast channels and transmitted her message. "Earth is under attack. This isn't just chaos, it's coordinated aggression. Look to the skies." The transmission reached millions of households, though reactions varied widely. Some dismissed it as conspiracy nonsense, while others listened intently. Among those who believed Maya was a young programmer named Alex Chen, who lived in a small apartment in San Francisco. An amateur astronomer and tech enthusiast, Alex immediately recognized the significance of Maya's claim. He contacted her through encrypted channels, offering his expertise in deciphering alien languages. Together, they began working remotely to decode more of the mysterious signals. As night fell, the situation on Earth grew dire. Power grids collapsed in several regions, plunging cities into darkness. communication networks faltered completely, leaving billions isolated and terrified. Fires raged unchecked, consuming entire neighborhoods. Military forces deployed en masse, attempting to maintain order, but discipline crumbled as soldiers succumbed to the same inexplicable rage afflicting civilians. Entire units mutinied, turning weapons on their commanders before descending into infighting. Yet even in the darkest moments, humanity revealed its resilience. Small pockets of cooperation emerged as individuals banded together to protect what little remained. In Chicago, a group of neighbors formed a barricade to shield their community from looters. They shared food, water, and medical supplies, pooling resources to survive. In Mumbai, a doctor braved dangerous streets to deliver medicine to critically ill patients, refusing to let fear dictate her actions. And in Paris, an artist painted murals on crumbling walls, capturing both the despair and hope of the times. These acts of courage and compassion stood out like stars in a pitch-black sky, reminding everyone of humanity's potential for good. Far above Earth, alien civilizations continued to monitor the unfolding catastrophe. Ships hovered near the planet's orbit, recording every detail of the chaos below. Leaders debated fiercely about whether to intervene. Many feared the consequences of meddling in such a volatile situation. Others argued that humanity's self-destruction posed a threat to galactic stability. If left unchecked, the energy surges bombarding Earth could destabilize nearby star systems, creating ripple effects across the cosmos. One particularly empathetic species, known as the Veilith, finally broke the stalemate. The Veilith were renowned for their pacifist philosophy and advanced technology. Standing tall and slender, with iridescent skin that shimmered like liquid metal, they exuded calmness and wisdom. Their leader, a revered elder named Kalith, addressed the Council of Alien Leaders. "We cannot stand idly by while an entire species destroys itself," Kalith declared. "If we act swiftly and carefully, we may prevent further loss of life, and perhaps even guide them toward growth." Kalith's words resonated deeply. After much deliberation, the Council agreed to send reconnaissance teams closer to Earth. Using cloaking devices to avoid detection, the ships descended cautiously, focusing on areas where cooperation still existed. They observed humans helping one another despite the surrounding chaos. Families reunited, strangers showed kindness, and communities came together to rebuild. These glimpses of humanity's better nature reinforced the Veilith's resolve to help. Back on Earth, Maya and Alex worked tirelessly to decode the alien signals. Progress was slow but steady. Fragment by fragment, they pieced together a message, written in stark simplicity: "Cease resistance, obey." The chilling directive confirmed Maya's worst fears. This was indeed an invasion, albeit a subtle one. Instead of brute force, the invaders sought to manipulate humanity's emotions, driving them to destroy themselves from within. Armed with this knowledge, Maya and Alex faced a daunting challenge: how to warn humanity without causing mass panic. They decided to focus on spreading awareness among trusted networks, scientists, activists, and local leaders capable of mobilizing communities. Through encrypted messages and underground broadcasts, they urged people to resist the influence, to cling to reason and compassion no matter how overwhelming the anger felt. Their efforts bore fruit slowly but surely. In cities and towns around the globe, individuals began practicing mindfulness techniques, meditating, or engaging in activities that fostered calmness. Teachers encouraged students to express their feelings through art rather than aggression. Community organizers held gatherings to remind people of their shared humanity. Though fragile, these efforts created pockets of stability amid the chaos. By midnight, the tide began to shift ever so slightly. While much of the world remained engulfed in turmoil, there were signs of hope. People started listening to each other again, choosing understanding over anger. Strangers offered comforting words instead of insults. Families forgave old grudges and embraced one another tightly. These small victories didn't erase the devastation wrought by the day humanity snapped, but they proved that humanity hadn't lost its soul entirely, and high above, the Veilith prepared to make their presence known. Their ships descended silently, ready to offer aid and guidance. As the clock struck midnight, Earth stood on the precipice of oblivion. Fires raged unchecked across continents, entire cities lay in ruins, and humanity teetered on the edge of self-destruction. Yet amidst the chaos, glimmers of hope began to emerge, small acts of kindness, resilience, and cooperation that hinted at the possibility of redemption. It was then, in humanity's darkest hour, that the Valith made their move. The Valith ships descended silently, their sleek forms shimmering faintly against the night sky, cloaked in advanced technology that rendered them invisible to the naked eye. They hovered above regions where pockets of resistance had formed. These were places where humans still clung to reason, compassion, and unity despite the overwhelming tide of anger and despair. The Valith observed carefully, ensuring their intervention would be precise and measured. They knew that acting too soon or too forcefully could trigger further panic, or worse, hostility. Calith, the wise elder leading the mission, addressed his crew with calm authority. "Our goal is not domination but preservation," he said, his voice resonating softly within the ship's chamber. "We must neutralize the influence driving humanity to madness without causing additional harm. Patience and precision will determine our success." Using sophisticated neural dampeners, the Valith targeted areas most affected by the energy surges. These devices emitted frequencies designed to counteract the alien signals bombarding Earth, effectively calming the heightened emotions of those exposed. At first, the effect was subtle. A man about to strike another during a heated argument suddenly paused, confusion flickering across his face. A woman screaming at her neighbor took a deep breath, lowering her voice. Slowly but surely, the rage dissipating like smoke in the wind. In Chicago, one of the neighborhoods protected earlier by its residents now experienced an unexpected transformation. People who had barricaded themselves inside homes cautiously stepped outside, drawn by an inexplicable sense of calm. Neighbors greeted each other with hesitant smiles, exchanging apologies for past grievances. A child laughed as she chased a stray dog through the streets, a sound so rare in recent days that it brought tears to many eyes. Though none understood why their fury had subsided, they embraced the moment of peace, vowing to hold on to it for as long as possible. Word spread quickly among these communities. Rumors circulated about mysterious forces intervening, though no one could explain how or why. Some claimed divine intervention, others whispered of extraterrestrial aid. Regardless of belief, the impact was undeniable. As the Valith expanded, their efforts more regions stabilized. Violence decreased, communication networks partially restored, and emergency services resumed operations. Humanity, though battered and bruised, began to breathe again. Meanwhile, Dr. Maya Patel and Alex Chen continued their work decoding the alien signals. With the help of trusted allies around the globe, they pieced together fragments of the invaders' plan. The messages revealed chilling details. The energy bursts were part of a psychological weapon designed to manipulate human emotions, exploiting weaknesses inherent in the species' biology. By amplifying fear, anger, and distrust, the invaders sought to destabilize Earth from within, rendering it vulnerable to conquest or annihilation. Maya realized the implications immediately. "They're testing us," she told Alex, her voice trembling with urgency. "If we survive this, they'll see us as a threat worth eliminating. If we fail, they'll write us off as unworthy of existence." Determined to expose the truth, Maya broadcast her findings globally using whatever means remained available. Her message reached millions, sparking both disbelief and determination. Skeptics dismissed her claims as paranoia, while believers rallied behind her call to action. Activists organized protests demanding answers, scientists collaborated to develop countermeasures, and ordinary citizens banded together to protect their communities. Among those inspired by Maya's message was a young journalist named Priya Sharma. Based in Mumbai, Priya had spent years covering stories of corruption and injustice. Now, armed with evidence provided by Maya, she embarked on a mission to document humanity's struggle against the unseen enemy. Traveling from city to city, she interviewed survivors, recorded testimonies, and captured footage of the devastation and the resilience that defined the day humanity snapped. Her reports became a beacon of hope, reminding people that even in the face of unimaginable adversity, humanity could endure. As dawn broke over Earth, the combined efforts of the Valith and humanity began to bear fruit. Military units regrouped, under renewed leadership, focusing on restoring order rather than suppressing dissent. Governments issued joint statements acknowledging the crisis and pledging cooperation to rebuild. Social media platforms, once cesspools of toxicity, transformed into spaces for connection and healing. Hashtags like Together We Rise and Humanity Prevails trended worldwide, symbolizing a collective resolve to overcome the darkness. But challenges remained. In some regions, the influence of the alien signals persisted, fueling lingering outbreaks of violence. The invaders, realizing their initial strategy had failed, intensified their attacks, targeting key infrastructure and attempting to sow discord among nations. Power plants exploded, dams collapsed, and critical supply chains faltered. Hunger and disease threatened to compound the suffering already inflicted upon the planet. It was during one such attack that humanity's courage truly shone. In Tokyo, engineers worked tirelessly to repair a damaged nuclear reactor before it could melt down. Risking their lives, they braved toxic radiation levels, guided by instincts born of desperation and duty. When the reactor stabilized, just moments before catastrophe, cheers erupted not only in Japan but across the globe. Their heroism became a rallying cry, inspiring others to confront the challenges ahead with equal bravery. High above Earth, the Alien Council convened once more. Observing humanity's response to the escalating crisis, they debated whether to escalate their assault or withdraw entirely. Some argued that humanity's resilience proved them unworthy of destruction. Others insisted that their unpredictable nature posed too great a risk. Tensions mounted as factions clashed over the fate of the beleaguered planet. Ultimately, Calith intervened, his voice carrying a weight that silenced dissent. "We came here seeking to judge humanity," he said, addressing the council. "But perhaps we are the ones being judged. Look at what they have achieved despite our interference. They fight not just for survival, but for unity, for love. Is this not the essence of sentience? To rise above oneself for the greater good?" Reluctantly, the council agreed to cease hostilities. The remaining energy surges dissipated, leaving Earth free from external manipulation. For the first time, in days, humanity felt genuine relief. Exhausted yet hopeful, people emerged from shelters, hospitals, and hiding places to survey the damage and begin rebuilding. In California, Maya stood atop a hill overlooking San Francisco, now scarred, but standing. Beside her, Alex gazed at the horizon, his laptop displaying the final decoded message from the invaders. "Test concluded. You may yet prove worthy." Neither spoke for a long moment, allowing the weight of the words to sink in. "We did it," Alex finally said, breaking the silence. "Against all odds, we survived." Maya nodded, her expression a mixture of pride and sorrow. "Yes, we did. But this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. We've been given a second chance, and we can't waste it." As sunlight bathed the ravaged city below, Maya and Alex turned toward the future. Behind them lay the remnants of the day humanity snapped, a testament to both humanity's fragility and its strength. Ahead stretched an uncertain path, one filled with challenges, lessons, and opportunities for growth. Together, they vowed to ensure that humanity would never forget the cost of division or the power of unity. And so, the story of Earth's near collapse became legend, not just among humans, but across the galaxy. Alien civilizations marveled at humanity's ability to rise from the brink of destruction, drawing inspiration from their resilience and determination. Diplomatic relations blossomed, fostering collaboration and understanding between species. Humanity, once viewed as unpredictable and dangerous, earned newfound respect as a race capable of greatness. Though scars remained, Earth began to heal. Cities rose from the ashes, stronger and wiser than before. Governments prioritized peace, over conflict, innovation over stagnation, and compassion over greed. Children grew up hearing tales of the day humanity snapped, learning valuable lessons about empathy, cooperation, and the importance of protecting their shared home. For Maya, Alex, and countless others who had fought to save humanity, the journey was far from over. But as they looked to the stars, they did so with hope, not fear. They knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity would face them together, united by the knowledge that they had stared into the abyss and emerged victorious. As the sun rose on a new day, Earth stood transformed, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. The scars of the day humanity snapped were etched deeply into its landscapes and its people, yet they also served as reminders of survival and resilience. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, humanity woke up without the oppressive weight of uncontrollable anger or despair pressing down on them. It was as if a fog had lifted, revealing a clearer path forward. But this clarity came with questions. Who were their mysterious saviors? What had truly happened during those chaotic days? And most importantly, how could humanity ensure such an event never occurred again? In the aftermath of the crisis, Dr. Maya Patel emerged as a central figure in piecing together answers. Her relentless pursuit of truth had already earned her global recognition, but now she found herself thrust into the role of mediator between humanity and the extraterrestrial forces that had intervened. The Veilith, recognizing her contributions, reached out directly through encrypted channels. Their message was brief but profound. "We wish to speak." Maya hesitated for only a moment before agreeing. She knew that direct communication carried risks. Fearful governments might see it as a threat, while conspiracy theorists would spin wild tales. But the potential benefits outweighed the dangers. With Alex Chen by her side, she traveled to a remote location chosen by the Veilith for the historic meeting. As their ship descended silently from the sky, its shimmering surface reflecting sunlight, Maya felt a mix of awe and trepidation. This was humanity's first official encounter with an alien species, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Kaleth greeted them warmly, his iridescent form radiating calmness. Through advanced translation devices, he explained the purpose of the Veilith's actions. "Your species possesses immense potential," Kaleth began, his voice resonating gently. "But you are also volatile, prone to self-destruction when faced with fear and division. Our intervention was not an act of aggression, but a test, a way to determine whether you were capable of overcoming your flaws." Maya listened intently, absorbing every word. When Kaleth finished, she asked the question burning in everyone's minds. "Why us? Why now?" Kaleth paused, as if choosing his words carefully. "Your technological advancements have made you visible to us, and others, in ways you cannot yet comprehend. You stand at a crossroads. Continue down a path of destruction, or embrace unity and progress. We wanted to see which direction you would choose." The revelation sent shockwaves through Maya and Alex. They realized that Earth was no longer isolated. It existed within a vast network of civilizations, each watching and waiting to see how humanity would evolve. The implications were staggering. Humanity wasn't just fighting for its own survival, it was proving itself worthy of membership in a galactic community. News of the meeting spread rapidly, thanks to Priya Sharma, who documented the event in meticulous detail. Her reports sparked widespread debate. Some viewed the Veilith as benevolent guardians, offering guidance and protection. Others saw them as meddlers, questioning their right to interfere in human affairs. Governments scrambled to establish protocols for future interactions with extraterrestrial entities, while scientists raced to develop technologies capable of detecting and communicating with other alien species. Amidst the discussions, humanity began the painstaking process of rebuilding. Entire cities required reconstruction, economies needed stabilization, and social structures demanded reimagining. Yet there was a shared determination to build something better than what had existed before. Lessons learned from the day humanity snapped guided these efforts. Communities prioritized mental health initiatives, teaching individuals how to manage stress and conflict constructively. Education systems emphasized empathy, critical thinking, and cooperation. Leaders vowed to address systemic inequalities that had exacerbated tensions during the crisis. One particularly inspiring example of renewal came from Tokyo, where engineers unveiled plans for a massive renewable energy project. Dubbed the Phoenix Initiative, it aimed to power the city entirely through sustainable means, symbolizing humanity's rebirth after near extinction. Similar projects sprang up worldwide, driven by a newfound commitment to environmental stewardship and innovation. Even industries once resistant to change embraced eco-friendly practices, realizing that survival depended on preserving the planet. While progress unfolded on Earth, humanity's relationship with the Valith deepened. Kalith and his crew remained in orbit, serving as advisors rather than rulers. They shared knowledge about advanced medicine, clean energy, and interstellar travel, accelerating humanity's technological evolution. In return, humans offered insights into art, philosophy, and creativity, qualities unique to their species that fascinated the Valith. This exchange fostered mutual respect, bridging cultural gaps and laying the foundation for lasting alliances. Not all alien species welcomed humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage. Rival factions, wary of Earth's rapid development, began probing for weaknesses. Cyber attacks targeting satellite networks, sabotage attempts on research facilities, and even covert assassinations of key figures underscored the ongoing threat. Humanity quickly learned that survival in the cosmos required vigilance as much as collaboration. To counter these threats, Maya proposed forming an international coalition dedicated to defending Earth's interests. Dubbed the Global Galactic Defense Initiative, or GGDI, it brought together military strategists, scientists, and diplomats from every nation. Under Maya's leadership, the GGDI developed cutting-edge defense systems, including orbital shields and early warning mechanisms designed to detect hostile activity. These measures proved invaluable when a rogue alien faction launched a surprise assault on a lunar research base. Thanks to swift action coordinated by the GGDI, casualties were minimized and the attackers retreated. Despite external challenges, humanity's greatest triumphs came from within. Stories of ordinary people rising above adversity inspired millions. In Nairobi, a teacher named Amina organized workshops to help students cope with trauma, using storytelling and art as therapeutic tools. Her methods gained international acclaim, leading to similar programs worldwide. In Rio de Janeiro, a group of street artists collaborated to create murals depicting the day humanity snapped. Each painting told a story of struggle and hope, transforming walls of devastation into canvases of resilience. Even entertainment reflected humanity's journey. Filmmakers produced documentaries chronicling the crisis, while musicians composed symphonies capturing both the chaos and redemption of those fateful days. Books, poems, and plays explored themes of unity, forgiveness, and the fragility of existence. Art became a universal language, reminding everyone of their shared humanity. As months turned into years, Earth flourished in ways unimaginable before the crisis. Cities gleamed with green architecture, powered by renewable energy. Nations collaborated, openly, resolving disputes through dialogue rather than violence. Space exploration accelerated, fueled by dreams of venturing beyond the solar system. Humanity had proven itself capable of greatness, not because it was perfect, but because it refused to give up. Yet Maya never forgot the lessons of the day humanity snapped. Standing atop a hill overlooking San Francisco one evening, she gazed at the stars alongside Alex. "Do you think we're ready?" she asked softly. Alex smiled, his eyes reflecting the distant glow of celestial bodies. Ready for what? To join the galaxy? To face whatever comes next? Maybe not completely, but we've come farther than anyone thought possible. Maya nodded, feeling a sense of quiet pride. Humanity still had much to learn, but it had taken its first steps toward becoming part of something greater. The road ahead would undoubtedly be challenging, filled with unknowns and obstacles. But for the first time in history, humanity walked that road together, not as divided nations or competing ideologies, but as a single species united by a common destiny. And high above, the Valith watched with approval. Kalith, observing Earth, from his ship felt a rare emotion stir within him. Admiration. Humanity had passed their test, not flawlessly but authentically. They had shown courage, creativity, and compassion, the hallmarks of true sentience. Perhaps, he mused, they would teach the galaxy as much as they had to learn. Thus, the legacy of the day humanity snapped endured, not as a tale of failure but as a testament to resilience. Humanity had stared into the abyss and emerged stronger, wiser, and more connected than ever before. And as they looked to the stars, they did. So not with fear but with hope. For themselves, for their planet, and for the infinite possibilities awaiting them among the cosmos. Years had passed since the day humanity snapped, and Earth stood as a testament to resilience, growth, and unity. The scars of that fateful event remained visible, ruined buildings repurposed into memorials, textbooks detailing the crisis, and monuments honoring those who perished, but they no longer symbolized despair. Instead, they served as reminders of humanity's ability to rise from the ashes, stronger and wiser than before. Across the globe, life thrived in ways unimaginable during the darkest hours of the crisis. Cities gleamed with sustainable architecture, nations collaborated openly, and humanity prepared to take its place among the stars. Yet the story of Earth's near collapse wasn't just a chapter in human history. It became a cornerstone of galactic memory, inspiring countless species across the universe. In classrooms around the world, teachers recounted the events of the day humanity snapped to captivated students. It was the moment when humanity faced its greatest test, one teacher explained in a small school in Kenya. But instead of giving up, people chose to fight for each other, for their families, their neighbors, and their planet. Her words echoed similar lessons taught. In Japan, Brazil, Canada, and beyond, textbooks chronicled not only the chaos but also the acts of kindness, courage, and innovation that emerged during the crisis. Children learned about Dr. Maya Patel's discovery of the alien signals, Alex Chen's tireless work decoding them, and the Valith's intervention. They studied how ordinary people banded together to protect their communities, proving that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity could endure. Monuments dedicated to the survivors and victims of the crisis dotted the landscape. In New York City, a towering statue depicted a mother shielding her child while reaching out to help a stranger. Inscribed at its base were the words, "Together we rise." Similar tributes existed worldwide, each reflecting the diverse cultures and experiences of the people who lived through the ordeal. These memorials weren't just symbols of loss, they were beacons of hope, reminding future generations of what humanity could achieve when united by compassion and purpose. As time went on, humanity embraced its role as part of a larger galactic community. Diplomatic relations with the Valith deepened, evolving into partnerships that benefited both species. The Valith shared advanced technologies helping humanity tackle challenges like climate change, disease, and resource scarcity. In return, humans introduced their extraterrestrial allies to art, music, literature, and philosophy, qualities unique to their species that fascinated the Valith. This cultural exchange enriched both civilizations, fostering mutual understanding and respect. Other alien species took notice of humanity's progress. Some admired Earth's rapid recovery and willingness to collaborate, while others remained wary of humanity's unpredictable nature. Nevertheless, alliances formed, trade routes opened, and joint scientific endeavors flourished. Humanity participated in interstellar conferences, contributing ideas and innovations alongside far older and more advanced civilizations. Slowly but surely, Earth earned its place among the stars, not as conquerors or victims, but as equals, striving for peace and prosperity. Despite these achievements, humanity never forgot the fragility of its existence. Leaders implemented safeguards to prevent another catastrophe like the day humanity snapped. Early warning systems monitored space for signs of hostile activity, ensuring that Earth would never again be caught off guard. Educational programs emphasized emotional intelligence, teaching individuals how to manage anger, resolve conflicts peacefully, and build strong relationships. Governments prioritized transparency and cooperation, recognizing that division weakened societies and made them vulnerable to external threats. One particularly impactful initiative was the Global Unity Project, spearheaded by Maya Patel herself. The project focused on fostering connections between communities, nations, and even species. It included virtual reality experiences allowing people to walk in someone else's shoes, language learning platforms promoting cross-cultural communication, and exchange programs encouraging collaboration across borders. Through these efforts, humanity cultivated a sense of shared identity, a belief that despite differences in race, religion, or nationality, everyone belonged to the same global family. Maya's leadership extended beyond Earth. She became a prominent figure in intergalactic diplomacy, representing humanity at conferences and summits held on distant planets. Her calm demeanor, sharp intellect, and unwavering optimism earned her respect across the cosmos. Alongside Kaleith and other leaders, she advocated for policies promoting peace, sustainability, and inclusivity. Together, they addressed issues affecting multiple species, from environmental conservation to ethical use of artificial intelligence. Alex Chen, meanwhile, continued his work in deciphering alien languages and developing communication technologies. His breakthroughs allowed humanity to interact with previously unreachable species, expanding their network of allies. He also founded an institute dedicated to studying extraterrestrial cultures, ensuring that humanity approached interstellar relationships with humility and curiosity rather than arrogance or fear. For Priya Sharma, the journalist who documented humanity's struggle, the years following the crisis brought fulfillment and purpose. Her reports had inspired millions, earning her accolades and opportunities to share her insights globally. She wrote books, gave lectures, and advised policymakers on how to communicate complex issues effectively. Her message remained consistent. Storytelling had the power to unite people, bridging divides and fostering empathy. By sharing humanity's journey with the galaxy, she hoped to inspire others facing their own challenges. Even as humanity ventured boldly into space, it remained grounded in its values. Space exploration missions carried not just scientists and engineers, but artists, poets, and philosophers tasked with capturing the essence of humanity's spirit. Their works, paintings, songs, and essays, were shared with alien civilizations, offering glimpses into the soul of a species once teetering on the brink of destruction. These creative expressions resonated deeply with many extraterrestrial audiences, reinforcing humanity's reputation as a race capable of beauty and depth. Yet amidst the triumphs, humanity acknowledged its imperfections. Conflicts still arose, mistakes were made, and old prejudices occasionally resurfaced. But unlike before, these challenges were met with determination rather than resignation. People worked together to address issues, drawing strength from the knowledge that they had overcome far greater obstacles in the past. The lessons of the day humanity snapped served as guiding principles, reminding everyone that unity and compassion were not luxuries, but necessities. Across the galaxy, the story of Earth's near collapse became legend. Alien historians studied humanity's response to the crisis, marveling at their capacity for redemption. Species once dismissive of humanity's potential now sought its advice on matters ranging from conflict resolution to cultural preservation. Humanity's journey became a source of inspiration, proving that even the most flawed beings could rise above themselves when faced with adversity. And so, decades after the day humanity snapped, Earth stood as a shining example of resilience and hope. Its cities hummed with life, powered by renewable energy and driven by innovation. Its people celebrated diversity, embracing differences as strengths rather than weaknesses. Its leaders looked to the stars, eager to explore new frontiers while safeguarding their home planet. Humanity had transformed itself, not overnight but through steady, deliberate effort, and in doing so, had claimed its rightful place among the cosmos. On a quiet evening, Maya Patel stood atop a hill overlooking San Francisco, now a beacon of progress and harmony. Beside her stood Alex Chen, his eyes reflecting the city lights below. "Do you ever wonder what might have happened if we hadn't made it?" Maya asked softly. Alex smiled, his gaze shifting to the stars above. "All the time. But then I remember, we did make it. And because of that, we're here, looking forward instead of back." Maya nodded, feeling a profound sense of gratitude. Humanity's journey had been long and difficult, marked by moments of darkness and brilliance alike. But through every trial, it had proven one thing unequivocally, that even in the face of annihilation, humanity could find light, in itself, in others, and in the infinite possibilities awaiting discovery. As the two friends gazed skyward, a single thought lingered in their minds. The day humanity snapped wasn't the end. It was the beginning. A beginning of a legacy that would echo not just across Earth but throughout the universe, reminding all who heard it that hope, courage, and unity could overcome even the greatest storms.